Pod, aka People of Detroit. We wanna put people on. You know what I'm saying? We wanna get the world to know more about Detroit.
Well, what makes us different at the Pod is that we want to have real stories by real people and displaying real triumphs. At the end of the day, in Detroit, one thing we know how to do is hustle harder.
What up, though? You already know what it is. It's your boy, Sir LA.
It's your girl, Dahlia.
And you in here rocking with the Pod, aka
the people of Detroit. Today, we have a very special guest.
Yes.
We have Jason Phillips. He's a business owner, fine artist, and he knows his way around tattooing. Say what up to the people.
What up, though?
Yo.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey, thank you for coming. Thank you for
already
coming.
know what it is, man. We in here rocking. And, we appreciate you coming through with us, to drop some knowledge to the community, Detroit community, about, what you do and how you do it. So, what hood made you, man?
Oh, I grew up Joy Road.
All right, okay. Joy Road.
Yeah.
Joy
Exit
Road.
9, come up
Further around,
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in your early years, man, like, what was some of your inspirations, as far as, like, growing up, what's other things that you wanted to be besides what you are today? Did you have any other aspirations?
What's funny is I always knew I wanted to do something revolving around art, as long as it had something to do with like design or painting, drawings, whatever. I was game for it.
Okay.
And I was one of them kids that was just always drawing. Like as a toddler, getting in trouble, drawing on the walls. In school, drawing on the back of my chest instead of proofreading them. That type of stuff, man. Just always dueling and drawing and stuff and battling with cats,
Okay.
And trying to see who could draw the best,
So there's actually a thing as artistic battling.
All the time.
Right.
I know you have like the competitions, but I just never knew it was like battling in adolescence, and that's kind of neat.
Oh, yeah.
It's a whole nother world I see. So speaking of that, I do have a question for you. Now you mentioned that you always wanted to do something centered around art. What other forms of artistic expression outside of like drawing did you dabble in growing up? Any type of other types of design or anything you were doing with your hands?
Okay, well that's an interesting question because art it transcends, just visual arts. I knew that I just wanted to do visual arts.
Okay.
So, I was exposed at a young age to a lot of different, different types of mediums and stuff like that. In school, I gravitated towards art classes. And it's their job, in the art teacher's job to really expose and have different projects from, sculpture to watercolor, drawing, all different types of mediums.
Right.
So that you can, feel it out and see which ones you like and stuff like that.
I enjoy art. I was just terrible at art class. So we tried to make like jewelry one time, and he had like a cast, and he after we made it, and he put it in this little cast and put a little hole in it and put the liquid whatever to make it metal in it. All my jewelry fell apart. My stuff was terrible. I was never good at it.
Yeah,
I don't even think I could draw a straight line.
I really don't think I did too much art in my lifetime. Never was a drawer. I done built a toolbox. You know what I'm saying? In high school, that's the closest artistic thing I've ever did.
But it's still design.
No, for sure. For sure.
What I mean?
Did it in wood class. We put together a toolbox. It was cool. But, as far as like what you do, I can't do nothing. But, you know what I'm saying? But that's what you here for. You know what I'm saying? And then your skills speak for itself, man. You've
Oh,
been
yes.
around the block.
Thank
You've been most definitely, honestly, a Detroit legend in that scene for a nice little minute, man.
Yeah.
You know, you did a lot of stuff. You know, one thing that I like that you did was that Jay Dilla tribute, bro.
Oh, thank you.
That was dope, bro, and it's something for the city.
Especially
you know what I'm
Jay
saying?
Dilla Day approaching, so it's nice you mentioned that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And when you start working on that, like what, 09 or something?
Man, it was back when I was living in Atlanta,
Okay.
actually. So, probably 7, 8, 9, somewhere around that time. Yeah, yep.
How long did it take to complete that?
I think I worked on that off and on for maybe 3-4 days.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Knocked it
Cool.
out.
Yeah, man, that was dope when I seen that. I'm like, okay, yeah, I like that, man.
Appreciate it.
And we seen that you went to Cass Tech.
Yep.
Okay.
94.
You graduated,
Cass
everything.
Tech.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for sure, man. You know, ain't nothing like when you in Detroit, and when somebody tell you what high school you go to, and you say Cass Tech, it's just some type of excellence behind that school.
But
you
a lot of excellence have come out of that school.
For
Not
real.
to interrupt, but if you think
No,
about
that's what
it
some of our
promotes.
major celebrities, like
Facts.
and
Second to none.
yes,
That's our motto.
yes.
You know, and fortunately, I was able to attend Cass Tech for high school. They had what drew me there was their phenomenal commercial art program that they had there.
Dope.
It was led by Marilyn Stevens, who's still with us. Like, she's a legend. She had our curriculum like running like a well-oiled machine.
Shout out
Some of
Marilyn
the-
Stevens.
Yeah, Marilyn
Yes,
Stevens.
Class of
indeed.
'94.
And if you so happen, if this video makes its way to you, definitely drop something in the comments for Jason.
For sure.
Yeah, drop him.
Yes, indeed. Now, when you were, I did see that, you graduated from Wayne State, correct? And when you went to Wayne State, you got your degree. You have an art degree, a fine art degree, and I
All right,
believe was it
Bachelor of
maybe
Fine
graphic
Arts.
Graphic
design?
design.
Okay, so moving forward from that, now working with the city and your graphic design background, I see you had a stint with that. What was that experience like?
Did y'all research?
This is what we do. This is what
Right. We gotta make sure we know who we talking to.
All right. So, what's your question about the
What was your
city?
experience transitioning out of college and working for like the city and the county doing what doing art and graphic design? How was that? Was that very uniform or?
It was a interesting transition. It was hard around that time for graduates to really get placed in jobs, in their career that they studied. So there was a little period where I was applying, for jobs with different commercial, what do you call them, advertising agencies and things of that nature.
Okay.
And I learned that a lot of times the art directors, while they're interviewing you, if they're intimidated by your work,
Oh wow.
9 times out of 10 they're not going to hire you because then you're going to be coming for their job. And then there were a lot of positions that were just dead end and stale and
Okay,
stuff.
that makes
and so my parents urged me to apply for the job for the city of Detroit. My father and my grandfather were both municipal workers too.
Okay.
So, they told me to apply, so I went on ahead and applied. And while I'm looking for other jobs, the city wound up calling me, asked me to come in for an interview, and it was cool. Like, I worked for the creative. What was the name of that? CCSD. It was the creative department.
Okay.
Communications and Creative Service Department.
Okay.
Dope.
And it was a nice transition because I learned a lot. It's one thing being in school and you learn A, B, C, and D, and then it's another thing when you're really applying it.
Right.
You have real life budgets.
It seems like it's more of a
everything.
business aspect and responsibility
Yeah.
level more than just like creating a little bit.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then it gave me a sense of being connected with the city because we're packaging the mayor's initiatives, different departments' initiatives to give it a good face before they give it out to the public, the information to the public. and it was just so much fun. I loved working with CCSD.
That's cool, man. Heck, shit. And I know it's one thing I seen the Michigan project at U of M.
Oh yeah.
Can you speak on that? Because that was dope, man.
Oh yeah.
That was dope.
So the language department, I think it was the woman who was the head of the department. She got a grant to come up with education books that broke down the different breakdowns in the languages.
Okay.
So I don't like to use the term ebonics, but it changes, dialect changes, you know what I mean, from different region depending on where you're from. So her project was to come up with textbooks that broke down, the different breakdowns in English and help correct it to a standardized English form. So nice. It was an interesting project. I illustrated, I think, about five or six books.
Okay.
For it.
Nice.
Yeah, there was one other artist that worked on the project as well. But it was cool.
That's good because a lot of kids, when they read things, they may have these big words that these adults out here using, and a 7th grader looking at it like, what is this? And when you bring it to a certain level, they learn it faster and it make them want to, retain it better. You know what I'm saying?
I do have a question, a follow up on that. Now, as far as for the illustrations, because that's something I didn't know about your skills, not your skill set, but about your background. Are you still doing any illustrations, or if someone was to try to contact you for illustrations, is that something like a role that you would still go down?
They would have to have their publisher contact me.
Okay.
I'm no longer doing like self-published illustrations and stuff like that.
Yes, have your stuff together. You hear? That just means that's code for have your stuff together. Your ducks in a row. Have your publisher do what needs to be done, and he can lend his gifts to your project for whatever y'all negotiate. Okay.
Yeah, it comes down at the end of the day, like illustrations, especially with children's books, like it pretty much sells the book. You can have a simple story like Johnny walked up the street, Johnny saw a car, Johnny went home. You know what I mean? Not saying the storyline doesn't have to be, but it's basic. But when you're gonna capture those kids with the illustrations, and so when the books are selling, then you need to pay those artists, their right due, the royalties and all that stuff, and all that stuff has to be in order. Yeah. I particularly don't really like doing illustrations, but it becomes a job.
You like illustrations on skin.
Yeah. I like to do what I want to do.
Yeah, I mean?
I'm spoiled now with the tattooing. Okay. Yeah.
But you've been doing it for a while, so you can kind of call the shots and make your own lane. As far as with your fine art, before we delve too deep into your tattooing, when was the first time you were featured in a gallery for your fine art?
It was 1989. 1999.
1999?
Yeah, at Johansson Charles Gallery in Easter Market. Shout out to Kev Hansen.
Shout out to Kev Hansen.
Johansson Charles Gallery, yep. 99. Did a show with artist, another popular artist in Detroit, goes by the name of Chaz.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all know Charles. Yeah, we did an exhibit there.
That's super dope. Well, how was that feeling the first time being featured, and what was that like?
It was exciting. I remember it was, it was so hard at that age trying to get in the gallery. And, I always heard, you're too young, you're too young, you're too young. Hey, you got nice work, you're too young. Like, my work
speaks for itself.
Man, I came out of high school banging, so but it was hard, I always got that, you too young type of thing for people. So to finally get that chance, to pull a body of work together and professionally, display it and everything, it was dope.
Okay. I know. Speaking of the individual Charles, you actually had a tattoo booth at the Charles Wright Museum at one point.
Well,
where like during
the festival.
During the festival, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But it was at
Charles Wright.
Right.
Yes.
Not inside.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah. So that was dope. We was the first, I think we the first tattoo business to ever tattoo at the African World Festival. So
Wow.
And that's
live.
facts during
dope,
Black
man.
History Month,
Y'all
okay?
hear that?
Period.
That's
Detroit ink spot, man. Yeah.
Now, do you do like any of the conventions or?
I don't. I'd like to, but I own a business. So every once in a while, I'll fly out like Chicago or Atlanta, and to support my friends and things like that. I have artists that work for me that can go out and everything, but I have to hold it down here in Detroit.
That's
and,
the tough part of being the boss.
And then the one that comes here, the Motor City Tattoo Expo, like one day, I might have one of my artists participate in it, but it's kind of like, why do it? Because we're here. You know what I mean? So we normally go out and have fun, do meetups, and buy supplies and see what's new in the market. And, see our people that come in from out of state.
Some networking and things of that nature.
That type of thing.
That's cool. Let me think here. What is the name Shirley Wilson?
Shirley
What does that mean to you, man?
Oh man, Shirley Wilson's a beautiful person. She's just a dynamic staple in the art world. In the art world, the African American art world, and in the Detroit African American art world.
For sure.
She's a gem. If you don't know her, just look her up. You know what I'm saying? But she's also an educator. I think she was over the Detroit Public Schools art departments and things of that nature.
Nice.
She's president of National Conference of Artists. She's recently a Kresge Award winner. Right now, she has artwork at the DIA. You know what I'm saying? Got an exhibit at the Detroit Institute of Arts right now.
Right.
She's been doing it. Yeah,
she is this.
Yeah. She's a beautiful person. I was fortunate enough to be the same age as her sons. My sister's the same age as her daughters. Our parents knew each other, so I've been knowing her just about my whole life. She grew up on Oakman, a few blocks away from me, as a matter of fact. Me and her son, Senghor Reed. Senghor is a dynamic artist as well.
Shout out Senghor Reed.
And we've been like this ever since kindergarten. So yeah.
That's dope, man. I knew that individual, had a nice impact on your life when it came to, I know your parents was there and was stern and pushed you. But,
and it's great that they supported you.
Multiple people in your life that had to,
We need that, a lot of times, kids is, when they're young and they have that artistic gift, a lot of times parents try and push their kids, be a doctor, be a lawyer, you know what I mean? You can't make money doing that, and I was fortunate enough not to have parents that were like that, if anything, they helped cultivate me, they were finding out, young art programs that they could get me in to expose me, you know what I mean, to sharpen my sword.
Is there a program that you can recall that was most impactful, or like maybe one of your favorite experiences that you feel really made you?
Okay, one of the most dynamic experiences. There was a national call. This is when I was in high school. It was for high school students to submit your work to become a Rewash Sharp Scholar.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And
I'm familiar with that. I've heard
of that.
I've heard of that.
So, everybody across the nation, submitted their work, and then they picked. They had, I think, 2 different sessions, maybe like 20 kids or whatnot. And I was selected, to be a part of that. And it was at the Colorado College in Colorado Springs.
Okay, no.
And when I took part of that, that's when I really started, I had painting class, drawing classes. That's when I started to learn and look at compositions differently. I actually started painting. Before then, I wasn't painting, I was drawing and stuff like that,
Right.
But I was introduced to acrylic paints, and it was just a wonderful experience just to be out of the city,
see something
on
different.
your own, and just learning, was dope.
I have a follow-up question regarding that. When you say that you started getting exposed to like the different styles and painting and acrylics, when I look at a lot of your current pieces, it's oil. And how would you describe like your style? What's your stick with the painting?
Yeah, it's a tough question for me. It's definitely illustrative work. You know, it's always going to be some images. I don't really get off into abstract work. I tell stories. My technique and approach to painting is pretty much the same, but I really can't speak on it because it's me. You know what I mean?
I get it. Yeah.
It's you know, that's about as much as I can say
your
about
art,
it. You know?
it definitely imitates life because it speaks volumes.
For sure.
And on top of that, you can still feel like a spirit of Detroit, no pun intended, on the statue, but you can feel a Detroit spirit in your paintings as well because it embodies our attitude. And I think that's super dope. Yeah. And actually, I really like a couple pieces by you. Yeah. I want you to explain weight.
Weight. Yes. Okay. So, weight is basically about the struggles that African Americans have had in America. And still through all of the struggles, we still have to gain momentum. We still have to keep it moving. We still have to strive for excellence. You know, we have to do better than the status quo. Yes, you know, and so that's what that piece is, you know, about. You know, and the brother, you know, he's struggling to move forward, even though he has this weight of America, you know, and all of his politics and BS, you know, behind him. It's like no excuses.
When I saw that, I felt that because I related to that so much because when I look at certain things that I had to go through and getting paid less than certain counterparts for having to work harder, and I seen that it was like even though he had this amount of weight that he was carrying, he was still moving though. Yeah, you can feel the movement in the painting, so that's why I was like, oh, this is like power.
That made it all the way to the New York Times, man. Oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That was dope. That got recognized, and it was in, you know what I'm saying, the newspaper not here, you know what I'm saying? It's making its way around.
It's not local anymore.
You know what I'm saying? And you do got nationally known paintings, you know what I'm saying? And like when did it first hit you that your paintings was going national? Like when you found that out, like how was you feeling, man, when you found that out? And you was like, wow, like
it's unbelievable, you know. You just because sometimes you just don't know when the article is going to come out and you're in it, you know. And I don't, because of what I do, like I get tunnel vision in order to keep things going. So a lot of times I don't pay attention to the news and the radio and stuff like that. They're distractions. So I put my head down and I just keep moving. But you know, every once in a while I'll get a phone call or a text or, you know, email or something like, hey, good luck, Jay, and they'll tag me on. I'm like, oh man, that's in the Free Press, okay. New York Times, okay. You
that's
know,
like somebody calling. Good, that's like somebody calling Kanye, like, hey man, you just sold out the garden. Hey man, you just got another Grammy, and he's like, oh dang, I didn't even know.
Like, all right, like, okay, probably my favorite painting by you, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man. When I first seen it, it brought me back to 2007 to 2010, that era. Of me just with my homies chilling out in the streets doing what we do, man. The Wig Street painting, bro.
Wig Street.
Oh my God, dog. When I seen that, I'm like, this is me. I used to do this. Like, it was so relatable to me.
That was me too. Right during that time. That's 98, man. That's me and the boys in the 86 Caprice. You know what I'm saying?
Man, dog.
Smoking, chilling, just hanging out, man. Hanging out. So yeah, that piece was done in 98. It was part of my first exhibit at Johansen Charles.
Okay.
And it was part of the Urban Suite. And that particular style of that piece, you know, that's what I was doing around that time. Everything was warped, surreal. Right. You know, it wasn't like Justin Boa was waving and stuff, but mine was wavy, and then it just had a little chaos. Like we were doing the studio, the table would be wavy, mics would be floating in the air. You know what I mean?
It gave off
it's
a
got
little,
stuff,
it did.
It's a little
like
wild.
the paint was bending or something, like
right.
different. You know, it was very dope. I love that painting, bro.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. And I know you also get recognized, man. You also got like another 313 best. What is it? The best visual
Chronicle. Yeah. Best
Chronicle.
visual artist award.
Best visual artist award. You know, you being recognized on those levels where they like, here, we recognize your stuff. You are a very talented individual, and you getting your accolades. You know what I'm saying, on your way to doing more. You know what I'm saying, because you've already achieved a lot over time. And it's just like, you still look like you about 25, man.
I'm still trying to
don't
do
crack,
more.
man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you still look like you in your prime, honestly.
Appreciate it.
For sure. You know what I'm saying?
I have a question for you. So,
what's your question?
Yes, I always have a question. I want to just, before we get into the next part of the juice, your bossness, before we get into your bossness,
Right.
Okay.
I want to know your favorite childhood memory in Detroit.
Favorite childhood
dig deep.
memory in Detroit?
It sounds like he got a good one.
There's so many, man. Like, Detroit. Okay, can y'all remember this? I don't know how old y'all are.
I was born in 87.
87?
Yeah.
88? Do y'all remember when the Grand Prix actually was in the city? Where the cars was racing down
I've heard stories.
Jefferson, down Larned, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I've heard Jefferson.
I've heard stories.
That was
I never
so
got to see
dope, man. They had the stands out there, and you could hear the engines, you could hear the cars coming before they even get there, because the sound is just echoing off of all the buildings downtown.
Now we just got Sunday Fun Day, you know.
Right.
No shade, but
And they
you
be
know,
over at 6.
yeah,
Man.
you know, it's a difference. It's a difference.
You remember when Winter Wonderland was at Cobo?
Okay, yes,
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, they had all the
That's some
little
real
activities
Detroit
and
stuff
stuff.
right there.
I have a lot of memories at Cobo, which is now what, TCF?
Yeah.
TCF Arena or
Yes.
something.
TCF
along
building.
TCF building. So
Yeah.
I got a few memories with the Cobo.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's get into this transition. So you're this accomplished artist.
Right.
You've been doing your thing since adolescence. And then, boom, you decide, you know what, I want a little break from the monotony. So the tattooing.
Yeah.
When you realized, like, I'm really dope at this, because obviously it's a different technique. It's more than just drawing.
Yeah.
I want to hear about that. Like, you like, okay, I'm going to do this.
Okay, so that decision came actually from being pushed from my friends. I was at a time when I was tired of painting, because I was doing it every day down there. Like, man, you know.
Putting in them hours.
And I've always been that type of person. Like, I would paint hard and then be like, ooh, I need a break. And then I'd go with the graphic design, and I would, you know, flip like that, you know. Back and forth, depending on, you know, the work. You know, sometimes I had more graphic design clients, and then it would die off, and then, okay, I'll flip over to the fine art. But I was getting tired of both of that. And my friends kept asking me to do drawings and stuff for them so they could go get tattoos. And they were coming back looking horrible. and I started noticing that more and more people, you know, it was asking to get these drawings for tattoos. And so it was the 4th of July when we were out, my homeboy TJ's porch, and his sister was like, Jay, she called me J-Dog, J-Dog, you need to start tattooing. You can do it, bro. You can practice on me. You know what I'm saying? You can draw, you can tattoo. You know what I mean? I was like, okay. So I put it in the back of my head. And a few months later, I wound up having to move back to Detroit. And was looking for some tax-free money. And then that was on the back of my head, you know. So, you know, I had a little nest, but, you know, the nest was dwindling. So I used that nest to go on ahead and do an apprenticeship. Did an apprenticeship with Fingers.
Now, how long
does
does that take?
Man, it just depends on, you know, how long it takes for you to grasp it.
Okay.
You know, yeah. So some people have been apprentices for years, and then some people have been apprentices for, you know, 6, 7, 8 months.
Okay.
You know, it just depends. My apprenticeship wasn't that long because I had already had the foundation. You know, I had a good base of art.
Right.
And then that kind of transcend. The next learning curve is learning the needles, the health aspects of it, techniques to do, what you want to do, because skin is different than paper, it's different than canvas. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're literally dealing with needles, variations of needles. And they all do different things. So you have to learn all of these things. You have to learn color, how to lay the color down. It's different from prism colors and paint. You have to build up on things. It's different, and there's so many different approaches that you have to do with different skin variations, skin tones. It's complex, but once I started the apprenticeship, I started loving it. I was like, whoa, this is deep. And I started seeing the capabilities of the art. Like I used to always see like Ed Hardy type tattoos, American traditional and stuff like that. And then I started, seeing some German cats and straight photos, looking like photos on people's skin. I'm like,
those portrait tattoos are.
I always thought those was dope when when you seen the right people doing them. I always thought those was dope as hell. So
I just fell into it, and then I started working at the time. It was a company called Body Candy.
Okay.
Body Candy Tattoos. I worked on the East Side location. Then I started working on the West Side location, and then that company kind of folded, and it sprung me into Detroit Ink Spot, former Detroit Ink Spot.
And you formed that in 2013, correct?
7 years ago.
It's about
what's it now, 22?
15, 14, somewhere around
up in that area.
Okay.
Now, how was that? Because being an artist is one thing, but then incorporating your gift and transitioning into ownership, entrepreneurship, how was that as a challenge for you? How was that?
Okay, well, that transition didn't start me into ownership. I incorporated myself in 99. Okay, Roots Visual Designs, that's my umbrella corporation. So I was doing business, with the graphic design and the illustrations and all of that stuff beforehand. So when I got into tattooing, I saw the structure of the business. It kind of reminded me way back when I used to airbrush when I was a kid. Kind of reminded me of the airbrush business. It was pretty simple. Like, I can do that. Now, business challenges is that I was a dude from Joy Road. You know what I'm saying? Like,
with a brick and mortar.
I didn't have parents that were entrepreneurs. I didn't have uncles. Too many references of people that put me under the shoulder and be like, yo, this is how you do it. This is how you get it done. Bradstreet's number. This is how you build your corporate credit. I didn't have none of that, dude. I was just trying to do what I knew. You know what I mean? So it was a struggle learning business, and business is complicated at times, but I think I kind of grasp it now.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh no,
to piggyback off what you're saying there, when you mentioned the different challenges, now I did see where you previously stated that you did have to pay extra funds and work your way around things to get your business settled in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's like you have to
let's talk about that.
Pay for the public hearing.
The challenge of that. Let's talk about
before you open up.
Because that's something people wouldn't even think about. They're just going to go to their tattoo shop, get a tattoo by our favorite artist, and leave. They don't know the struggle of what that artist had to do to get there.
Everything is pay to play.
You hear that? I mean? Invest in yourself.
It's everything. Exactly. You have to invest in yourself. So when you're going to do something, you have to figure out the right way to do it. Like, you can't just go and open up a tattoo studio without the proper channels. I mean, you have to have, the health department has to give you clearance. The city of Detroit has to give you clearance. Unfortunately, in the charter, the city of Detroit, you have to have a public hearing in order to make sure that the neighborhood is okay with a tattoo facility being closer to the neighborhood. I think it's like R6 is like the zoning for it, but Detroit is set up doggone all R6. You got 6 miles, 7 miles, all the major streets right behind it are neighborhoods. You know what I mean? So you're gonna have to get the permission, 9 times out of 10 from the neighborhoods. You got to pay to have that public hearing. I think that they need to get rid of it. Matter of fact, when when I did it the first time, they said, well, you should, motion to have this, removed and stuff. And I'm looking at them like, why? You already got my money. I'm here now. Like, let's do this.
Yeah, they're treating it like as if it's a strip club or something like that.
Well, you have to think that this was put in the charter a long time ago. So tattoos were associated with gangs and motorcycle clubs,
rebellion and things like that.
Yeah, riffraff, and so they did that to make sure that to keep those elements out of the neighborhood. But now, like, everybody's got tattoos. Doctors, lawyers, judges. It's becoming more common. So they do need to take that clause out. Of the scene. But anyways, you just have to learn. What it is, what you need to protect your business, what you need to be done. Do it the right way. Make sure you get all your permits and keep up on it. They're going to come and tax you every year. They're coming after that money. And you just have to stay up on it, Yeah.
Seeing that it is February, I'm going to ask you a random question. Okay. Your Black Girl Magic series, how did that come about?
I don't know. Okay, so listen, initially, like, that piece, and I know you guys are YouTubers, so one of the first Black Girl Magic pieces I did was years ago. I was always fascinated with metallics, metallic gold, metallic copper, and stuff like that, and so I was, just painting women and putting crowns, imaginary crowns of glory, on them, on top of the gold and stuff, and that's when it initially started. Then I threw it on the back burner, and then I brought it back because I had a discussion with a friend of mine, and we were discussing about the image of African American women, that we portray in just in the media and stuff. You see them sometimes, in the fine art now. You're starting to see more African Americans, in fine arts. And when I say fine art world, I mean like museums. Right. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So, and then we started talking about, how often when you do see them, they're sexualized in some type of way. So, it was just laid on my heart, to, just do a collection of pieces that celebrated women of color in a non-sexual, type of way that still showed, the essence of the glory of, the being.
And all your pieces that feature Black women are beautiful. I remember when I came and got my tattoo, because you did one on my neck. I don't know if you remember that. But
years
It was years ago. But you had this piece that was so large. It was almost floor to ceiling, like mural-like. And it was an image of a beautiful Black woman. You always depict Black women in a very, very regal manner. So as a Black woman, I appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
That.
You're welcome. We appreciate all that y'all do, Despite what, the little parties, the waiting to exhale parties say, us Black males, we appreciate you and all that y'all do, man.
Yes.
We need each other.
Do you still do your stroke and sip events?
No, but I'm recently trying to acquire a new facility.
Okay.
That's large enough where we can do that the way that I initially want to do it. So, Detroit Ink Spot has hosted a poetry night for a while.
I've been to that too.
And we also did the sip and stroke nights, the painting parties and stuff. So, and I have another idea for our artistic event, but those are the type of things that we want to bring into the new facility and to the neighborhood, so that we can expose more people to the arts. The arts are kind of being sucked out of DPS. There are a couple schools that are there that they try and push all of the creatives too, but I think that every school needs to have some type of art program.
Indeed, a lot of art and music programs have been discontinued at a lot of schools, so I definitely can appreciate any type of programs that are out here for the kids, even if there are, some standalone organizations that are pushing it forward, because we can't just have everything so uniform. We have to have something where children can express themselves and get out what they need to, because art is therapy.
It is.
Not only just expression, but it can promote healing. It can provide identity. And for everybody listening, if you have a child that's interested in art, even if it's just you simply buying them a sketch pad and materials they need, support their dream, support their gift. You know, I'm done preaching.
It's critical thinking as well. You know, it's critical thinking. You know, you can have all the knowledge, but if you don't know how to apply that knowledge, if you don't have the creativity to think of a way to apply that knowledge, you know what I mean? And that's some of the things that, you know, these art projects, you know, give the kids. You know, it's critical thinking. I have X, Y, and Z. How do I do this? How many different ways can I get to this? You know, so it's very important. Very important.
Now with Birth of a Target, that was a very powerful piece for me in particular, because I have 2 sons.
Okay.
So when I saw that, it really touched me. Not only how beautiful you depicted the image, but the message behind it. It's like a lot of people don't realize what it's like for a mother to raise Black sons in this America that we live in, and to have to think about having those conversations, because now my boys are at an age where I have to have those conversations with them about police and racism, and they were growing up protected for so long, and now they're 8 and 12 years old, and those real conversations have to happen, especially with everything that happened during the pandemic and them seeing riots in their lifetime. That's not something I ever thought my children would see, you know, and for them to see everything that was happening with protesting and all of the racism and actual riots, it was a tough conversation, but it was necessary.
Yeah.
And for you to be able to translate that message to maybe some people who live oblivious and forget that these are things that mothers really have to think about when they birth Black sons, I thought it was pretty powerful.
Good. I'm glad. I like to do pieces that hit people in their soul, you know, and some people don't like it because it is, you know, it's done from a particular perspective.
Yeah, it's
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it can be political, but it is what it is, and it's my outtake of my experience here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because a lot of people, you know, they can't relate. You know what I'm saying? And you know, us being with this melanin right here, you know, we can relate a lot better than a lot of people out here in the world. So they won't take it as serious.
It's 2 different Americas, man, and I'm coming to realize that, you know, it's literally 2 Americas.
Some people think because they don't see it, it doesn't exist. Yeah. And that's just the bottom line. Oh, people are being whiny or being babies. That's like the thought process that people really think. So sometimes I don't even get angry anymore, because your perception is your reality, and this is just simply these individuals' perceptions. And thankfully, you know, if we surround ourselves with the right people and the right people that are connected and open-minded, and they can see from beyond their own lenses, that's where the real conversation can start on how to get these messages across to the people who are oblivious. Now, I do have a question for you, because I always got a question.
That's all right. That's what we're here for. We're here to talk.
I always got a question.
Okay.
Is there something that's on your list that you want to do that you haven't done yet in your professional career?
I would like to do maybe some joint ventures, maybe with some fashion labels.
Nice.
You know, that would be dope. I have a project that's been on the back of my mind for years, that involves music, merging visual arts in music.
Nice.
Okay. I ain't gonna go too deep into
No,
it.
you don't want to give it all out, but I'm gonna say just that alone is needed. Develop that. We're gonna go ahead and speak life into that because I would definitely love to see that front and center. Now, are you still in the car center? Or?
No, that exhibit's over with.
Okay.
But yeah. I think February. I think it's like the beginning of February.
Okay, because I know that wasn't too long ago. Yeah. So do you currently have anything displaying now, or are you getting that set up?
No, just getting that set up. I have a project that I'm going to work on this summer. I'm going back to that that style. It's gonna be the urban suite too.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
so we're gonna do
Wait, check that
some
out.
stuff. Based off of hip hop.
Nice.
Some hip hop
Another phase.
songs, some classics.
Nice.
Gonna do some illustrations. Based around the music.
I seen something with one of your paintings. It said something about you incorporating, was it 23 karat gold into your painting?
Yeah, all my new paintings have 23 karat gold.
How do you do that? So are you like melting it down? Like how does that work?
Oh, no.
I don't know anything about that. I'm green on
You
that.
use like the flakes.
Yeah, it's gold leaf. So there's a company in Vegas that makes actual gold leaf. If you go to like the art stores and stuff like that, they make gold leaf, but it's just a foil.
Okay.
But there's a company that I order from where it's actually real gold.
That's dope.
So yeah, it's a thin.
And see, that's smart people that he adding another 0 to on top of his.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could talk offline about how much it costs to grab one of those and put it in my
art.
pocket.
Art is a luxury.
Yes,
It's a luxury. Yeah.
Now, you ever think about getting into like the NFTs with your painting?
Definitely, I have a line that's put together. I still have to figure out how to properly put the contracts to them. So
Okay.
that's coming down in the makings very soon. Yeah.
Very soon.
Yeah, very soon.
Before we come to a close, I want to know, as far as what type of advice would you have for individuals because you did give out a lot of advice for tattoo artists. You laid it down. So if it's any future tattoo
I
artists
can go
out there.
in for tattoo artists. You need, man. Listen, get your fundamentals right. Everybody thinks they can draw. And it's like, you might be able to form an image, but you have to be tight. Like, there are some people that can take apprentice, or people that, can halfway draw, or, have a little bit of drawing and
Kinda
art
help mold
skills.
them a
Yeah.
little bit.
Me, I don't have the time. I can't teach you art. I don't have the time to teach you art. But if you come to me and you can show me that you know art, then I can show you how to tattoo. Because it's just not gonna, if I teach you how to tattoo and you don't have the foundation, a good art foundation, it's just not gonna automatically just transcend, just come to you when you're on
Like
somebody's
magically
skin.
falling
Right.
It's not gonna happen. You're gonna do the same retarded ass drawing on somebody's skin, and they're gonna be mad. They're gonna
Then
beat
blast
you
you
up,
online.
Right, right.
Man.
Be brilliant at the basics, people.
Yeah, get your
Yeah,
foundation
yeah.
together.
So in your illustrious art career, man, like what would you say is your biggest accomplishment to date that you've achieved?
That's a good one.
That's a
Because
very
he's done a
good-
lot.
That's a
That's a
very
good
good question. I feel like I haven't done enough.
You know what? That's real. I respect
don't.
that.
Sound like yay.
Yes, I felt him because he said people saying I'm successful. This ain't the American dream to me. This is the
Yeah,
American dream
man.
to you. Like
And
I get that. I
It
get
comes
that.
from like I'm on worst critic, but like all the stuff that I do, I feel like it's not enough. It's got to be times 10. I have to do more, more. And so it's kind of hard for me to like sit back and think, dang, that was the greatest. I'm appreciative, for everything that I've done, but it's behind me. I'm trying to keep going.
But that's keeping you humble too,
Like-
because you're
like
not
wait.
allowing moments to take you over. You're still hungry,
Right,
and a lot of
right.
people lose their hunger once they feel they've made it in a certain arena, or they're in a certain room with people. They feel like, all right, I made it, and then you lose that hunger. So I think that's what's gonna keep you authentic and keep you pushing forward. Honestly,
Definitely.
the marathon continues.
Exactly.
I know, right?
You got anything you want to tell the people
Right,
where
you
to
want to
find
shout out
you?
to social media handles and
Yeah.
upcoming
Okay.
things going on?
So social media, I'm on Instagram heavy. I'm not on Facebook that much. So you want to reach me through social media. The tattoos is Jason Phillips _tattoos. And the fine art page is artist Jason Phillips. My shop is Detroit Ink Spot. It's located on 6th Mile and Evergreen, 19845 West McNichols, right on the corner of Evergreen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And by the way, everybody, his shop was ranked in one of the top shops in Detroit. Okay, so
Definitely.
I'm sorry.
Definitely.
Oh, definitely. 'Cause I was gonna say, wait, what now? What I mean? No, definitely. And I had the pleasure of having Jason give me a tattoo, and he's always professional and on point. So you definitely want to holler at this man right here. He will put you together.
For sure.
Thank you so much
Yes,
for
you're welcome.
coming
Thanks for
and
having
sitting
me.
with us.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
very, very dope
Really
interview.
Thanks for dropping dropping your gems. For it might be the next artist coming up don't know where to start, and he may watch this and be like, damn, you know what? Let me, you know what I'm saying? So we appreciate you stopping up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't be surprised if you get hit up and somebody like, man, I watched your interview, I got a question.
My nonprofit, we're trying to put together a mentorship type of program where we can start, teaching kids and stuff like that. Because, like I said, they're taking it out to schools. We need to have them Saturday morning art classes for the kids and stuff like that. So it's coming. Just got to get this facility on lock.
Hey, and if somebody got the plugs on facilities, holler at your boy. You got his social media. Let's network. Let's build. Thank you so much for tuning in with the pod. I'm Dahlia.
And I am Sir LA, and y'all can also follow the pod 313 on Instagram and on Facebook. Go subscribe on YouTube, The People of Detroit. But in the meantime, in between time, y'all already know what it is. It's the pod, aka The People of Detroit. Thank y'all for rocking with us. Had Jason Phillips today. Another successful interview. We out.
Awesome sauce.